and we talked most recently about point slope form, and it brings us to the final form that we're going to look at, which is standard form. And here's the thing I hope you're getting is that even though these are different forms of an equation, the equations are all equal. Okay, it's just moving the equation around so we can learn different things about the equation that line. So in standard form, which is what we're going to begin looking at today, and we'll finish it up tomorrow, we can take standard form and we can create equations to represent a relationship between a couple of quantities. We can graph those equations and actually predict the answers. Okay, so that's part of our standard, and standard form fits in with that. So here's what I'd like for you to write down. First of all, standard form has this look, and we're going to call it ax plus by equals c. Now, there's some things I want you to understand about A. A is simply, write it down, please. A is simply the coefficient in front of x. In other words, it is a number. And in fact, it needs to be an integer. It can be a positive or a negative integer, but we're not going to have, in standard form, we're not going to have fractions or decimals. We're going to write it without that. So A is a coefficient from x, B is a coefficient in front of y, and C is the constant. It doesn't change. So that's the way we're going to write it in standard form. All of those are integers. Now notice that the y-intercept, we've already talked about this, but if we have a y-intercept, we know that our x-coordinate is always 0 of a y-intercept. We haven't mentioned it yet, but likewise, the y-coordinate of a x-intercept is also 0. It's really logical if you look at it on the graph that we would have a y-coordinate of 0 at our x-intercept. And really, in standard form, to find an x or y-intercept, if we will substitute a value of 0 in for the other coordinate, if we're looking for the y-intercept, we'll just put a 0 in for x. Or if we're looking for the x-intercept, we'll put a 0 in for y, just the other part of that. We can find those intercepts really quite easily. Finally, and I think this is pretty cool, so be sure you write it down, our rate of change can be found by taking the coefficients of x and just writing it over b as a fraction, reversing the sign. So whatever number that holds that place in front of x, we can write it as a fraction over whatever number or coefficient that is beside y. And then if it's negative, we'll make it positive, positive, make it negative. Just reverse the sign. We'll have the rate of change. Just simplify the fraction. So that's the essence of everything we're going to see in this lesson. And so our objective in this lesson today is that you'll be able to write and interpret the standard form of a linear equation. Well, let's start out with a few examples. There's 3 here. Tell whether each function is in standard form. If not, we want to convert it to standard form. Well, the first one, actually none of these are in standard form. In order for it to be in standard form, it has to be something x plus something y equals a number. All right, so but this first one's close. It's something y equals 3x. So in order to get in standard form, I need to move the 3x to the left side of the equation. And when I do so, I get negative 3x plus y equals what? What do you think? What does it equal? I subtracted that out, so what's left? Say 0. Yes. Good. Now, one quick catch. In standard form, we do not like to have what we call a leading negative. In other words, my x coefficient, we don't like for that to be negative. We like for it to be positive. So we don't have a leading negative. Well, All we have to do to fix that is multiply everything through by -1. And in effect, all I'm doing is reversing signs. So negative 3x becomes positive 3x. And positive y becomes what? Negative y. And that still equals 0. If that 0 had been some number, I would have reversed its sign as well. That's standard form. Something x minus 1y, but minus y, equals 0. That's standard form. Standard form is easy. Look at the next one. Write that down. 7 minus y equals 5x plus 11. So in this example, it is not in standard form, is it? So I need to move this 5x over here with y, so I'll subtract 5x. So here we go, minus 5x plus 7 minus y equals 11. We know when we move across the equal sign, it comes to the top, so we just subtracted. That's all we did. Now I need to be rid of 7, so I do what? I subtract 7, sure. And so it's negative 5x minus y equals 11 minus 7. Go ahead and do the math there. 11 minus 7 is
4.
Yes, sir. Good job. Now, the only thing wrong with it, the only reason it's not in standard form yet is y. What's the coefficient of x? It's, yeah, we want it to be positive. So it's 5x plus y equals negative 4. All I did was multiply everything through by -1. My shortcut or my hack there is just to reverse the signs of everything. That is in standard form. 5x plus y equals negative 4. Questions? Pretty easy so far, isn't it? Let's look at the last one. So I've got parentheses. So if I have parentheses, that's probably going to indicate to me that I need to distribute. So I'm going to distribute the negative through 2. So it's negative 2x minus 2y plus 9 equals 1. So what do I need to move next? I need to move the positive what? Yeah, the positive 9. I need to get it on the other side of the equal sign, so I've got it in standard form. X, Y, and the number, okay? So I'll subtract 9 from both sides, so it's negative 2x minus 2y equals 1 minus 9. So I have negative 2x minus 2y equals negative 8. Now, there is one other thing I notice here. 2, 2, and 8. What do you notice about those? They're even numbers. That means I can divide them by 2. Yeah, that's very good. They're all even numbers. So not only do I need to reverse the sign, I also need to divide everything by 2 so that I get it as simple as possible. If they're all divisible by one number, I'm going to divide them out. So I'm just going to divide every term here by negative 2. I'm going to do it fairly to everything. Okay? So that negative 2 divided by negative 2 is just positive x. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is just positive y. And negative 8 divided by negative 2 is positive 4. Now, I've got it in its simplest form, x plus y. I have got it, so there's nothing complicated. And the thing I love about math is we want to simplify everything, make it just as simple as we can get it. That way we can use it. So x plus y equals 4. That is the standard form of the equation with that line. Questions on that one? Okay, so let's move on. We put them in standard form. So let's look at another question. Check this out. It says, given this information, we want to write the equation in standard form. I have slope and I have a point. And the point is 3, 7, okay? Now notice, in the wording, it tells me kind of what to do. All right? I have a slope and I have a point. That is point, slope, form. So I'm going to start with the point, slope, form of the equation. That's my starting point. And then, using that, I'm going to convert it to be a standard form. So remember, with point, slope, form, it's y minus equals x minus. And I'll take the two pieces I've been given, the slope and the point, and I'll plug them in. So my slope is 6, my y is 7, and my x is 3. So all I've done is plug in what I knew to point, slope, form. Then I'm just going to simplify and convert it to standard form. So to do that, 6 times x, 6x. 6 times negative 3, negative 18. I have to distribute. I'm always going to distribute, probably. Anytime I have parentheses, I want to have to usually, 99% of the time, I'm going to have to use that distributive property. That's why it's so important that you get really familiar with it early on. Then I need to move the x over, so I'll subtract out 6x. So it's negative 6x plus y minus 7 equals negative 18. And now I need to add the 7. So I add that to both sides. So it becomes negative 6x plus y, add 7. So they'll cancel out. It's negative 18 plus 7. All right, finish it out. Negative 6x plus y equals negative 18 plus 7 is negative what? Negative 11. Have I got it to standard form yet? No. What? Not yet, haven't I? What do I got left? Got to reverse signs, right? So it's 6x minus y equals 11. Now it's in standard form. Question on that? Let's look at another example. Now, in this one, they want me to write the equation in standard form, but I just have 2 points. What do I not have? Do I have what? Slope, exactly. So, I'm just going to find the slope first off. So 4 minus 5. Subtract my y's. Changing y's or change x. 3 minus 2. So 4 minus 5, negative 1. 3 minus 2, positive 1. So my slope is negative 1. So I have a couple of points, and I have the slope. So I'll use point, slope, form again. Okay, so here's what that's going to look like. It's y minus equals x minus. And so y minus would be y. I can pick, actually, I'm jumping ahead. Somebody pick a point for me. 2, 5 or 3, 4. I don't care. 2, 5, okay? So it's y minus 5, x minus 2. My slope is negative 1. All right. Now, no matter which point I pick, if I do my algebra correct, I'll get the standard form to be the same. So I've got to distribute a negative 1 through it. So y minus 5 equals negative x plus 2. Add x to both sides. So I'll get x plus y minus 5 equals 2. Add 5 to both sides. X plus y equals 7. Is that the standard form? Yes or no? Yes, it is. You know, no leading negative. Got x plus y, then equals a number. So yeah, I'm right on top of it there. I'd like to look at just one last example. We'll wrap up part 1 of the notes. We'll finish part 2 tomorrow. Now, in this one, I've got the slope, and I have a point. What do you notice about the point that I have there? What is that point, 0, 5? What do you notice about x in that point? It's what? It's a 0. What does that tell us? It's on the y-axis, yes. That's the y-intercept. Okay? So I've got the slope and the y-intercept. I can use slope-intercept form here because that's what I've got. Or I could use point-slope form. Either would work. You know, I'll be honest with you. Y equals negative 2x plus 5. It's going to be a little easier to convert to standard form. Because all I have to do is have 2x on both sides. So it's 2x plus y equals 5. Regardless of whether I use point-slope form or slope-intercept form, I will still be able to convert it to the standard form you see in front of me. So that helps to introduce us to be able to write, and tomorrow we'll look at a little more about interpreting the standard form of a linear equation.